Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you all here, and thank you so much for taking the time to show up. I'm Tammy Exum, State Representative. I represent the 19th District, which is a part of West Hartford and Avon. I'm also the mother of 3 sons. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. And I'm also a widow, which is something that I never would have imagined at this juncture in my life. I'm here for 2 primary reasons today. Because February is American Heart Month, and because I am on a mission. I'm on a mission to build awareness about heart health and saving lives. And with this in mind, I'm specifically focused around the coronary calcium scan. And I want to tell you that the first time I ever learned about a coronary calcium scan was approximately 15 months ago when I received a call with the autopsy results of my husband, Earl. Now, Earl was an amazing man. He was incredibly fit. He was my husband of 28 years. We were together for 30 years. And to learn of his passing was an incredible shock to me. The first comments that the coroner made when he called me, he says, "This is a tragedy. This man is a beautiful specimen." He went on to talk about how healthy he looked. And I said, well, what happened? What was the cause of death? And he explained to me that there was a blockage that was in his heart and his arteries. And it caused him to have something called the widowmaker heart attack. And I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Well, imagine a garden hose and it's full of water, so it's clogged. With the heart, when the blood can't get through," and this was the left artery, the largest artery that supplies blood to the heart, he said it stops. The heart doesn't know what to do. And he dropped. And thankfully, he didn't suffer. He likely died right away. And I was so confused. I couldn't understand, how did this happen? I mean, Earl was in amazing shape. 5 years prior, he had his first colonoscopy, and it revealed that he had colon cancer. And so he had surgery. It was removed, clean as a whistle. He had wonderful reports, no follow-up. While he was always an athlete, he played college football. He was someone who really buckled down at that point. He did not drink. He did not smoke. He never used drugs. He didn't even take caffeine anymore. Earl was working out all the time. He was lean. He was muscular. He was probably in the best shape of our married life. He looked amazing. Now, he did have an elevated cholesterol level, and he did not want to take medication, so he tried to fight this for years. But then he realized that this is genetic. He gave in, and for the last couple of years, he was taking a statin. He appeared to be doing everything right. There was nothing more that I could imagine him doing. So the pathologist said to me that what made this so tragic was that he could see how healthy Earl was. And he said, have you ever heard of the coronary calcium scan? For some reason, it locked into my mind. I was in such a state of shock. And I said, what is a coronary calcium scan? He says, what's frustrating is there's a test out there, and it costs about $200 if you pay for it out of pocket. And it shows the degree of blockage in the artery. Had Earl had that, maybe that would have made a difference. He said, but doctors don't tend to really talk about it because it's not covered by insurance. And I said, well, tell me more. And so I just kind of said, wait, if there was a test like this about which we had been aware, we absolutely would have taken it. We didn't know. So I think it's really important because Earl didn't have anything that looks like typical symptoms. And that would be normally what people would look for, but he just didn't have them. One night we were eating dinner. It was some kind of sauce. He said he had indigestion. And so he took Tums, and then he talked about it one other time at bedtime, did the same thing. And I said, well, maybe you should see a GI or go see the doctor just in case, because things just happen as you get older. And then he came up one day from working out, and he says, wow, my left shoulder is really sore. This was the weekend prior. And I said, oh, wait a minute. I've heard that if you have GI issues and a shoulder issue like that, you should get checked. That could indicate heart issues. He went and made a phone call. He made an appointment. He tried to with our regular doctor, who said he really should go to the hospital. I can't get him in. And so he said, I don't think it rises to that level. I got in with our old doctor. So on Wednesday, I was saying to him, you know, Earl, I know you got in with the old doctor, but I think we should just go and do a workup. And he said, no, I had an EKG. It was normal. It was fine. He just said, I need to do a stress test. I said, but if we go and do all of this at the same time, you'll have it done and we'll know. We're both getting ready to travel. Why don't we do that? He says, the EKG was good. I feel great. I can wait for the stress test. This was on Wednesday. And so I said, you know what? I'm making a stress test. You're going to have the stress test on Monday. We'll both be back on Sunday night. But he died on Sunday. Yeah. So this scan, it saves lives. It will continue to save lives, but it will save more if it's covered by insurance. But more importantly, it will save lives if we are aware of the scan. My purpose in being here today is to build that awareness. And I am not saying by any means that everyone needs this. You need to talk to your doctors about it, but I don't believe doctors talk about it as much because it's not covered by insurance. So I am asking for doctors to really speak and talk to their patients about it, but to build this awareness amongst the community so that you can advocate for yourself unless and until that happens. But I'm so grateful to be a part of a legislature that cared and responded and is making a difference. And you're going to hear more about that. And the only thing I'll say in closing is, you know, I never wanted to be here. This is not the platform that I imagined carrying. But my whole purpose in being here is saving lives. And I know that this scan is one more tool in our toolkit. I thought an EKG meant that you were good. An EKG is for a point in time. He just hadn't had anything at that particular point in time. We need to raise awareness, and this today will be the beginning of the mission that I will do for the rest of my life.